Welcome to the Global Integral Beauty Networking event, an innovative platform that seeks the best professionals from the global industry to connect and build an interdisciplinary community working together for the benefit of patients. Hosted by Adalis Bailey, global leader in the integral beauty field, a registered nurse with an MBA in marketing, skincare specialist, and CEO of Renew Aesthetics. Adalis Beauty Savvy and Global Integral Beauty, also a best-selling author. This is a revolutionary opportunity to create professional networks in the fields of health, wellness, and aesthetics, driving global collaboration. Get ready to enjoy an event full of connections, knowledge, and innovation. Welcome to the Global Integral Beauty Networking.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much to be here and to enjoy this amazing time together with Global Integral Beauty Networking. I really want to appreciate the special time for all the VIP guests who are here with us, and today we're going to enjoy an amazing networking with the expert globally in micropigmentation and colorimetry.
And we're going to move along to Dean. Dean, we know that pigment color tends to change over time. But how do these changes in scalp micropigmentation vary when working with different skin types? All right, we got oily, dry, or the combination.
Right.
In this case, the patient has dry skin. How will this influence the longevity and hue of the pigment over time? What adjustments would you make during the application process to optimize durability?
Okay, so if they have dry skin, I would ensure the patient's skin has to be well moisturized before the procedure. That way we can reduce the risk of the pigment fading of the color. And of course, choose the right pigment. I always use the organic pigment for everyone, whether it's dry, oily, whichever. Now, I also do have to adjust the needle sometimes based on how much depth we need to do if they have dry skin. Usually a little bit more shallower depth in their scalp is the right way to do for a dry skin. That way we can minimize trauma to the skin and reduce the risk of the pigment color fading, of course. And make sure they follow the aftercare. That's really, really, really important, especially if they have dry skin. And I always tell them to use organic coconut oil on day 5. Give it at least 3 to 4 days for the wounds to close up first, and then use organic oil and apply that at least once a day, just a little bit, not too much. Because if you do like too much oily skin, that's also not good for the skin. So you really have to be in between the two. And I always tell them to stay hydrated before they come in. Like, drink a lot of water before you come in, especially with the dry skin. That really helps. And just make sure they apply SPF when they're out in the sun, and avoid sun exposure for 2 weeks. So I always inform them to just keep wearing a hat for the first 2 weeks. Make sure it's a nice clean hat, of course.
The results were a lot better than obviously what they've come in with. Again, it's managing their expectations. I feel like with density, it's more taking the eye away from the area rather than completely filling it. It's never going to be as dark as their hair where it's thick. It's just not possible. So again, like the other two have said, it's getting them to sign something so they understand this and realise that down the line they may end up having to shave, because we can't predict the future about how quick they're going to lose hair. Obviously, there's different factors that go into hair loss as well: stress, medication, genetics. So we can't put our finger on when they're going to lose more hair. So even though, they may come in and say, oh, not lost any for a while, that doesn't necessarily mean that, they're not going to lose more next year. Or so, like I've said before, we always need to tell them and be totally honest that this may not be, their final solution for the hair loss. They may end up shaving, they may go down the transplant route. But from my experience with hair in the crown, with hair loss there, it's much harder for a transplant to settle and heal into that area because there's not as much blood flow. I've had so many, clients come in that have had the full head done front to back from transplants, and the front has taken amazingly well, and the back is just so sparse. And the surgeons invited them back for another transplant, which is obviously it's not guaranteed results, so that's quite risky. I think that's what I love about SMP. It's guaranteed. So it's then at that point what they decide what route to take. And obviously there's medications like minoxidil, finasteride, but they come with side effects. And I've had clients come in that have said they've been on either one of those medications, can't remember which it was, and he said he felt suicidal. So sometimes I just think it's best to brave the shave and don't look back. And there's so many people that have said to me, I wish I'd done this years ago. It's my only regret not doing it years ago. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I've got it now. Yeah, so the top client there, both of these are quite recent results actually. The top client, he has rosacea. I think I'm saying that properly. So he has like a natural red to the skin, and he flares up very easily. So I've had to be very careful with his skin. It's so red, the reddest I've ever had before. So I think I took 6 sessions with him, and he's coming back actually next week for a 7th checkup. I've really taken my time with him because his skin is super sensitive. I've had to build it up very, very gradually. Obviously, as we know, some skin types, if it goes so red, it's quite hard to see what you're doing. So it's been very reserved with the pigment, and he's very fair-skinned as well. So that was a tricky one, and another challenge to sort of overcome with this treatment. The bottom one was no issues like that at all. It's just a straightforward treatment. Keeping it age appropriate. He needed some side profile detail in there. And yeah, feathering out the hairline to keep it looking natural.
This client, he came in, he's actually very young. He's in his early 20s. At first, he came in, he had drier skin, and he just needed to fill in his crown area. He was experiencing hair loss due to stress and things like that from Army, I guess. So the first time he had dry skin, we did it for him, but he wasn't that bad. It was actually not like I didn't see any flakes or anything, so I kept going and I did the procedure. Then the second time, I told him to apply a lot of organic coconut oil, and the second session it was way too oily, so I did try to dry it as much as possible to try to make it work. But yeah, actually the color stayed after that, and I checked his crown area for healing. I should have sent you the healing picture as well. It doesn't look any different, honestly, and he healed right. And he did follow my instructions, drank a lot of water. But yeah, sometimes clients, they tend to do more than what you ask them to, just because they want it to be done so perfect.
Absolutely. I think this was a great event. But before we wrap it up, I just want to say this. What you guys got to experience today is the true power of scalp micropigmentation, right? You see that it's not a one-size-fit-all or a cookie-cutter solution, right? Every client comes with a different story, and every artist brings their own unique approach to the craft, and that's what makes SMP so transformative, because it's personal, it's artistic, and it's life-changing. That being said, I want to give a huge shout out to, a thank you to all the incredible artists who shared their work and their insights tonight, right? Jessica, Dean, and Chris, you guys are all over the world. Appreciate you tapping in. And a special thank you to you, Idalis, for giving us a space to showcase what we love and what we do best. And we appreciate you letting us come on your platform and represent the S&P industry. So thank you for that. Thank you, everyone.
Expectation that you have when we invite you, and also how was your experience today?
Man, amazing. It's really nice to hear other people's stories as well from intelligent S&P artists like everyone on this platform. It's really nice to hear everyone's insights. And I'm actually looking forward to that conference. We'll definitely show up. We'll be there in October of this year. And thank you so much for inviting me. Really, really good experience. Thanks.
Thank you. Really appreciate you inviting me along. It's always, great experience to be alongside, brilliant S&P artists around the world and getting to connect with them and getting to know them. Thank you. People showcasing their work and just speaking with like-minded people on the same wavelength, got the same goals and aims to do great work in this industry and keep pushing it forward. So thank you.
Yes, like I said, thank you again for having us as part of your platform. I think we could, all S&P artists that are at attendance here today can agree. Anytime that we have an opportunity to talk about what it is that we do and love, we appreciate that, because scalp micropigmentation is not a household name the way we all would like for it to be, and the way that social media makes it appear to be. Right now the household names are the topical solutions and hair transplant. So anytime that we have an opportunity to talk about what it is that we do or educate someone about our industry, I think that's a very great thing for us, especially to capitalize on, especially coming from an industry that we usually are not familiar with and getting the invitations from. So I'm very grateful for that. This was a really good experience, and especially to see some of my colleagues come on here and talk about what it is that we do so professionally. That always makes me very happy, because I'm always, for those that do know me, I'm a very big advocate for this industry, not just for myself. So I always try to stress and push the professionalism that we really do have in this industry. And today, the three artists that were here expressed that so well. So thank you guys again.